A small mistake you repeat every single day can silently turn into a repair bill of over $1,000. Now imagine stacking 11 of those mistakes together. They can quietly drain more money than your car is even worth. And the worst part? Most drivers have absolutely no idea that simple everyday actions like letting the engine idle, using the wrong fluid, or skipping one small step when parking are slowly destroying fuel pumps, sensors, transmissions, and engines from the inside out. Today you are going to learn 11 common mistakes that cost serious money. The damage only shows up when it is already too late. Stay until the end because the last few are the ones most drivers never suspect, and the ones mechanics see destroying cars every single week. Let's start with one of the most common quick fixes that seems completely harmless but destroys cooling systems every year. Number 11. Topping off the cooling system with tap water. This one looks simple, cheap, even smart. But in reality, it is one of the most effective ways to slowly destroy your cooling system over time. Most drivers open the coolant reservoir and pour in tap water without thinking twice. The real problem is what you cannot see. Regular tap water contains minerals like calcium and magnesium. Inside your engine, those minerals turn into a ticking time bomb. With every heat cycle, they build up inside the radiator passages and heater core, like cholesterol clogging arteries. Coolant still flows, but worse and worse over time. The symptoms appear gradually. First, the car runs hotter in traffic. Then the heater stops working properly. By the time you notice, the system is already compromised. Then comes corrosion. Those minerals increase water conductivity and accelerate wear on aluminium components. The radiator, thermostat housing, and heater core all start degrading. A sweet smell inside the cabin combined with foggy windows means a leaking heater core. At that point, you are no longer dealing with a simple fix. Repair bills can exceed $1,000 to $2,000 depending on the vehicle. The solution is simple. Always use the correct coolant, either pre-mixed or diluted with distilled water. If you have been using tap water for a long time, a full system flush could save you from a much bigger problem. Number 10. Driving with miscalibrated sensors. Modern cars rely on sensors for almost everything. Stability control, ABS, lane assist, automatic braking, all of it depends on precise data. The problem is that almost any change to your car can throw these systems completely off. Alignment done. Suspension parts replaced. Windshield changed. Minor front end bump. All of that can affect how these systems read the road. Without proper recalibration, the car starts misreading reality. Drivers report the steering wheel correcting itself unexpectedly on the highway. Random braking events. Warning lights for ABS or traction control that appear for no obvious reason. In an emergency situation, that matters enormously. Stability control uses steering angle data to decide how to correct the vehicle. If that data is wrong, the response can be delayed or completely incorrect. That means losing control. The fix is simple, but almost nobody does it. Anytime you touch suspension, alignment, or windshield components, perform a sensor recalibration. Think of it as a digital alignment for your car. Number 9. Replacing tires the wrong way. Most people replace just 2 tires thinking they are saving money. In some cases that is fine. But depending on the vehicle, it can cause serious damage. In all-wheel drive systems, new tires have a larger diameter than worn ones. Even a small difference is enough to create conflict between wheels. The system interprets that as constant traction loss and tries to compensate continuously. That correction generates heat and wear inside the drivetrain, potentially destroying the center differential or transfer case. A cheap tire replacement suddenly becomes a very expensive repair. The other classic mistake is putting the best tires on the front. It sounds logical, but it is wrong. Vehicle stability comes primarily from the rear axle. If the rear tires have less grip, the car is far more likely to lose control in wet conditions. The rule is simple. Best tires always go on the rear. On AWD vehicles, replace all 4 or stay within the manufacturer's recommended tread depth difference. Number 8. Letting the engine idle for too long. It seems completely harmless, especially on cold mornings or while waiting. But your engine is taking a real hit every single time. When a car idles for extended periods, it never reaches optimal operating temperature efficiently. Fuel does not burn completely and part of it ends up contaminating the engine oil. Over time, this reduces lubrication and accelerates internal wear. A warning sign is the oil level going up instead of down, which should never happen. Direct injection engines suffer even more. Carbon buildup increases on valves, pistons, and injectors, leading to misfires, reduced performance, and rough operation. Diesel engines face DPF clogging, triggering constant regeneration cycles and persistent warning lights. That habit of warming up the engine is actually shortening its lifespan. The correct approach: start the engine, wait 30 to 60 seconds, then drive gently. The engine warms faster, oil contamination stays low, and everything runs cleaner. Number 7. Lugging the engine. There is a reason experienced drivers never do this. Lugging happens when you are in too high a gear for your current speed. The car shakes, jerks, and makes a choking, struggling sound. That is not normal driving. That is the engine being forced beyond its limits. In turbocharged engines, the problem becomes even more serious. You may hear knocking, that metallic pinging from inside the engine. That is detonation. Uncontrolled combustion inside the cylinder. There is no middle ground here. This kind of stress damages pistons, bends connecting rods, and can lead to catastrophic engine failure. At low RPM under high load, oil flow is insufficient. Internal friction increases and critical components like the crankshaft and bearings accelerate their wear dramatically. That fuel-saving habit of staying in a higher gear can turn into a multi-thousand-dollar repair very quickly. The rule is simple. If the car is shaking or struggling, downshift immediately. The engine needs to spin freely, not fight against itself. Number 6. Resting your hand on the gear shifter. This one surprises most drivers. It feels natural, almost comfortable. But internally, it is a serious problem. Even light pressure on the shifter applies constant force to the selector fork against the synchronizer. Components designed for brief contact during gear changes, not continuous pressure. This friction generates heat and premature wear over thousands of miles. The transmission starts showing symptoms. Difficulty shifting. Unusual grinding noises. In more severe cases, the transmission gets stuck in gear entirely. The worst scenario is a gear popping out into neutral while driving at speed. That is genuinely dangerous. The fix costs nothing. Both hands on the wheel. Use the shifter only when actually changing gears. If this video is already changing how you think about your daily driving habits, hit subscribe right now. Because the next video covers 5 more habits that mechanics say are becoming more common and more expensive every year. Number 5. Parking without using the parking brake. This seems completely harmless. But every time you skip the parking brake, you are putting unnecessary stress on a small component inside your automatic transmission called the parking pawl. It is strong, but it was never designed to hold the entire weight of a vehicle on its own, especially on any kind of incline. On a slope, all of that force concentrates on one tiny part. Over time, it wears down. Eventually, it breaks. And when it does, the car can roll freely with nobody in control of it. The correct way to park takes 5 extra seconds. Stop the car. Shift to neutral. Engage the parking brake. Then shift into park. The load sits on the brakes, not the transmission. That tiny habit change protects a component that costs hundreds of dollars to replace. Number 4. Using launch control constantly. If your car has launch control, you have probably wanted to use it as often as possible. It is there. It is exciting. It feels like that is what it was built for. But here is the detail most drivers never read in the manual. Launch control was built for occasional use, not daily activation. Every time you use it, you are putting massive stress on the clutch, transmission, axles, and differential simultaneously. Some transmissions actively limit how many times launch control can be used. Certain 8-speed automatics cap it at around 50 activations for a reason. Frequent use causes overheating and triggers limp mode. There are documented cases of transmissions failing before 20,000 miles due to excessive launch control use. Using it at every traffic light can cost you an entire transmission replacement. Use it sparingly and understand exactly what your car's limits actually are. Number 3. Using low-quality fuel. By around 30,000 miles, engines can already develop significant carbon buildup, and fuel quality plays a direct role in how fast that happens. Lower quality fuels contain fewer detergent additives. Studies show fuels with a better additive package produce up to 19 times fewer deposits inside the engine. The impact is real and progressive. Reduced power output, higher fuel consumption, rough operation and hesitation. And when the deposits become severe enough to cause real problems, a full intake and fuel system cleaning easily exceeds $300 to $800 depending on the engine. Saving a few cents per gallon at the pump can cost dramatically more later. Use top-tier fuel with a proper detergent additive package consistently. Number 2. Constantly driving on low fuel. Most drivers use the low fuel warning light as their signal to refuel. The problem is that indicator is not always precise, and the bigger issue is what happens to your fuel pump in the meantime. The fuel pump relies on petrol for cooling. When the tank level is low, the pump runs significantly hotter than it was designed to. Its lifespan can be cut in half. A pump that should last well beyond 100,000 miles fails prematurely. And when it starts failing, the car can stall while driving, which is not just an inconvenience. At highway speeds, it is a genuine safety emergency. The recommendation is simple and costs nothing to follow. Never let your tank drop below a quarter full. That one habit alone can add tens of thousands of miles to your fuel pump's life. Number 1. Using the wrong oil viscosity. Modern engines operate with extremely tight internal tolerances. Everything must be within exact specifications. When you use oil that is too thick or too thin, multiple serious problems appear simultaneously. Improper lubrication in critical areas. Overheating in components that depend on oil film for heat transfer. Variable valve timing systems receiving incorrect hydraulic pressure and failing to operate properly. This is not an exaggeration. Using the wrong viscosity can lead to a warped cylinder head or a cracked engine block. Repair costs in those cases easily exceed $1,000 to $3,000, and often much more. There are documented cases of engines sustaining serious damage in fewer than 15,000 miles due to incorrect oil use. The correct specification is printed on your oil cap and in your owner's manual. If you have been using the wrong viscosity, the best move is a full oil change with the correct specification immediately. Your car is a $15,000 to $50,000 investment. Most of these 11 habits cost nothing to fix. Stopping them today is the cheapest maintenance decision you will ever make. If this video changed how you think about your daily driving habits, hit like and share it with one person who needs to see this. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because we cover the expensive mistakes most drivers make before they realize the damage is already done. Drop a comment below telling us which habit you are guilty of. We read every single one.